we'll just start because I know that we have an eager bunch and people will jump in. So this is a session that I've been looking forward to for a long time. It was one that I had booked for my schools, and sadly we couldn't do it, but now we have a new way of connecting, which is great. And Katie and I feel that you are our kids now. So this is really awesome. So our guest teacher today for our art class is Colleen Leduc from, sorry, Colleen Leduc from the Winnipeg Art Gallery. So she's connecting to us from Winnipeg, and we're going to talk about the magical, mystical creatures who live, many of them live in Frobisher Bay and up in the Arctic Ocean. And we're going to compare them to their magical cousins. So we've got unicorns and narwhals. So first of all, Colleen's going to talk a little bit about some unicorns and narwhals in art, and then we're going to create our own. So if you haven't had a chance yet, this is your opportunity to go and get some pencils and paper and some pencil crayons or crayons if you have them. And if not, so just go and collect those. If you don't have pencil crayons and crayons, that's totally fine. There's some great things that you can do just with the pencil too. So over to you, Colleen.
Thanks so much, Mally, and hello to everybody. It's so nice to be able to join with you again. So as Mally mentioned, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about unicorns and about narwhals. I'm going to show you some examples of unicorns and narwhals in art. And then we are going to make our own image, our own drawing. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm going to share with you now a PowerPoint with some images. I'm going to attempt to share here. I may need Katie or Mally to help me with this part. Some images of some artwork that I have. Where?
So you go to that little rectangle that has the up arrow, and that's to share your screen. You have the host privileges now, or the presenter.
I go to the little arrow with the, oh, I see. And I press that. Oh, wonderful. And I'm gonna share.
There you go.
How do I play?
You can share it just like that, Colleen. That's the easiest.
Is this the easiest, just like this? Okay. Yeah. So here's the Winnipeg Art Gallery where I work out of, but right now I'm at home right now in my home studio. But this isn't where I normally am, except in Winnipeg right now. It's sunny outside. It's really nice and warm. I hope that weather's coming to everyone as well. It's starting to really feel like spring today. We're going to look at this famous tapestry. It's called The Hunt of the Unicorn, and it's actually a series of tapestries from the medieval ages. Now, it's a tapestry that doesn't belong to the Winnipeg Art Gallery. It belongs in a museum in New York, and they made this part of the museum look like a medieval castle. So it's really cool to see. Well, I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen images like you guys are seeing right now. I've seen of images of the tapestry in this castle-like building. Now, a tapestry is like a really fancy, big piece of carpet or blanket that people would have put on their walls. You could imagine hundreds of years ago, if you were living in a stone castle, it would be quite cold at night or in the winter time. And having the tapestry, the cloth walls would help keep the building a little bit warmer. It would make the rooms a little bit warmer, hold the heat in a little bit, like almost like an insulation. And it'd also be really beautiful. And they would have images that would tell stories. Now, long ago, hundreds of years ago, they wouldn't have had access to as many books that we have, or television, or the internet. So they would hear about different animals in different countries just by stories. and maybe images that were drawn down and passed along to people. So people would say that there were unicorns in different countries, and they created these amazing stories about magical unicorns. They were said to be wise, and be able to heal people with their magic horn and to have all different sorts of powers. And the stories about these unicorns were so popular that people really believed them and loved the stories. And today, people still talk about unicorns and love celebrating unicorns. Here is an image from this set of tapestries, and something that I think is really cool about the tapestry is that they were found in a barn. A farmer in his barn, all rolled up, and they would have been so old and so valuable, and the people who owned them just kind of rolled them up and kept them somewhere, and then eventually they got moved to this barn, forgotten about for hundreds of years, and then somebody found them, and we're just amazed. And we're so fortunate that they were saved and ended up in a museum or a gallery. Here the unicorn dipping its horn into the water. Now, because because the unicorn's horn was thought to possess this magical power, kings and queens wanted to have their own unicorn horn. So sailors would go out sailing and they'd see these beautiful narwhals in the ocean. Hunt the narwhal. They would take the horn then and take it back to the king or queen and tell them that it was a unicorn's horn that they captured. And the king or queen would believe that they then had this magical power in the horn. So that is the connection there between unicorns and narwhals. And narwhals then have become known as the unicorn of the sea. And we can see why. This does look very similar to the unicorn's horn in the images we were looking at. Now, narwhals, we're very fortunate that narwhals are in northern Canada. And we have some beautiful examples of Inuit art. Now, this is a piece of art that we have at the Winnipeg Art Gallery. It's called Narwhal Shaman. And you can see the narwhal has almost like a human-like face. Oh, wow, somebody from Oakland, California is joining us. That's cool. So there's like a human face with this narwhal tusk. And a narwhal tusk is actually a tooth, a really long tooth that grows out of the narwhal's face. And some narwhals end up having two tusks come out, but that's very rare. I love how smooth this soapstone looks, and the little ridges that are made in the narwhal's tail here. You can just imagine this creature floating through the ocean. Here's a beautiful print by an artist named Andrew Copic called Migration of Narwhals. And it's a pod of narwhals swimming together. They look almost like they're floating in the ocean here, just moving along. Here is a print of the artist Andrew Copic, who made the last print, and he's holding another print with narwhals on it. He grew up in Pengnarton in Nunavut, way up north, and he is a contemporary artist. That means he's an artist that's alive and working today and creating his artwork. He uses a technique called stenciling to make his images, and I believe some of you may have done my stenciling workshop with me. And here he is holding some of his prints. Here is an artwork by another contemporary artist. Her name is Shuvania Shuna. It's called Hunting Monsters. There's a few things I really like about this print. I really love Shuvani Ashuna's work. She works out of Canongate, which used to be known as Cape Dorset, up in Baffin Island. I really like her creativity that she's using. She just uses her imagination and lets it run wild. And I think during this time of self-isolation, it's a really great time for us to just dive into our imagination and think about funny daydreams we have and stories and draw them down on paper then. And that's what Shuvani does. She just lets her imagination run away with her. So she was just thinking about walruses, different creatures, this looks like I'm not sure what this looks like, almost like a goat's horn. They are not monsters. You don't think they look like monsters? And this walrus, she gave them a beautiful tusk. And this monster here, this creature here also has a tusk. And she's just having fun with them. She's being really creative. I love that. Oh, and I think that's our last slide. How do I stop sharing? Oh, there, stop sharing.
Say, go up to the top.
There
Stop.
we go.
Oh, Declan and Mila live on Baffin Island, which is near Cape Dorset.
Oh, that's amazing. Wonderful. So, so now we're gonna start our drawing, and we're gonna start by drawing a unicorn. I hope that sounds good to everyone. We're gonna draw, I think we'll create a little scene. Why don't we create a scene with a unicorn and a narwhal together? We're gonna have fun with it.
That'd be awesome. And I know, Colleen, last week we had someone ask to learn to draw a horse. So if you were that person, this is a really good one because it's going to shape for you. Yeah.
Perfect, because we're going to draw a horse first, and then we're going to turn it into a unicorn. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so I'm just going to share the other camera, and it's just going to take a minute till I can get the audio back. Okay, can you hear me? No.
Sure can, Colleen.
Oh, good. Okay, phew. All right, so I'm going to be using a black marker. Just if you've been with me before, I use the black markers just so you guys can see what I'm drawing a little bit better. Oh, sorry, just having some camera issues here. There we go. There. Oh no, now it's blurry. Does it look blurry on your end?
A little bit. Maybe wiggle. I think you wiggled the camera last time and then that kind of.
Oh, that did it? I was trying to remember, or did I try and reattach it?
I think you came out and went back in too.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. I'll just lose the speaker for just a minute. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think you reattached it.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Colleen.
Oh, good. Oh, good. All right. So we are going to start. I think we're going to start this drawing by. Let's start it by making a line that's just a little below the middle of the page. So I'm just drawing a line straight across. My line's a little bumpy, and that's okay. Everybody's artwork's going to end up looking a little bit differently. So I'm just drawing a line there. Oh, and it went blurry again. Did it go blurry for you guys as well? Is it blurry for you guys or is it okay?
It's a little blurry.
Sorry about that. Sorry, bear with me for a minute
That's
here.
good, Colleen.
That's okay?
Yeah, that fixed it.
Okay, good. I'm just locking in my tripod legs. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna draw that line because I want to keep a little bit of room at the bottom of the page to draw our narwhal. So we're gonna draw our unicorn up in the top part of the page. And we're gonna start I'm gonna start by making a circle like this. So if everybody wants to make a circle then like this is gonna be part of the unicorn's head. I'm going to now make another smaller circle right here, and that's going to be part of the unicorn's head as well. I'm going to connect these two circles like this. And I made a little mark with my pen, but that's okay. I'll just go over it like that. All right, so we already have our unicorn's head or our horse's head if it was a horse we wanted to make. Now, just a little bit below these circles, I'm going to make a larger circle, and you may want to wait and watch me make it first, and then you can make it. This, and it's kind of like an oval that I've made. Let's do that as well. Now this horse, we're going to build out the body or the unicorn. So the body's going to be this way and it's like the horse's head is looking back at the unicorn. So I am going to now connect with a curvy line. I'm going to connect this top part of the head, this here. Guys, do that step as well. Now I'm going to make another line, curves a little, that goes here. Okay, now I'm going to make the back part of the horse with another circle. Just about like that. There you go. I crossed the line over again. Doesn't need to be perfect. I may fix that up when I'm adding colors a little bit later. And now I'm going to make a line that connects these two circles. So I've got a line here, line here. I'm just going to pause for a minute and guys catch up to that if you need time. All right, so we can already see how we've got the horse's head, the neck, the body made. So now we're gonna make the horse's legs. I didn't give a lot of room for myself to make long legs, but that's okay. My horse will have kind of shorter legs, or my unicorn, I should say.
It can be a unipony.
A unipony, I like that. Okay. I like that. And when I was thinking about unicorns, one of my first thoughts were about My Little Pony. We certainly have some My Little Ponies that are like unicorns. Maybe I'll go past the line. I'm going to go past the line. There we go. And I'll fix that up a little bit later. So I've got one front leg. So I came down with a line, then I came down with another line, and then where the line crossed, I just kind of curved it a little bit, turned my mistake into making it look like that's the unicorn's hoof. A unihorse. I like it. It is a unihorse right now. A unihorse in that it has one leg too. Okay, now I'm going to move to this back thigh and I'm going to go like this. Two lines. Line kind of curves down this way. Line curves down that way. Now I'm going to take a line that goes like this. And I'm going to put this line here. And again, it's okay, I'm crossing that line, crossing through it. If you have pencils, you can erase these little lines after if you'd like, or not worry about it. Sometimes it's neat to see how you built it up. Ooh, an alicorn I saw somebody wrote. An alicorn I learned was a unicorn with wings. So that's something you could add to your unicorn when it's done as wings if you'd like to turn it into an alicorn. Okay, now I'm going to make another line that comes down this way. Alien corn. I like how you guys are playing with the word. That is funny. LOL. Now I am going to add a little hoof to the bottom here. All right. Now I'm going to start a line here that's going to make it look like this is going to be the unicorn's leg on the other side of its body. There's going to be one line here, and then one line that comes down. And this leg is going to be a little higher up because with perspective, if we were looking at this unicorn and this leg was on the other side, the line would need to be up a little higher. Tricks our eye a little bit. A unihorse. I like how everybody's playing with this, the wording. All right, now we're going to make the front leg of the horse look like it's kind of folded and in the air, like the unicorn is raising one leg. So I'm going to put one line down like this, and then I'm going to curve this leg around. I'm going to make this hoof look like it's coming in a bit, and curve back in. It's like such a noble unicorn already. Now I'm going to make the tail, and I'm going to make it so the tail's all wispy, like it's flowing in the air, the hairs of the tail. So I'm going to make it curve down and then up like this. And I'm going to go like this. Go. Could be like it's floating in the air, or sometimes horses flick their tail around. Sometimes they flick their tail to swat flies. All right, now I'm going to add an ear. Make kind of a triangle up at the top. Somebody, I see that Nate saying they can't see me. Can you see the drawing, Nate? Even though you can't see me, can you see the drawing we're working on? No.
So maybe Nate, if you can't see her, you can log out and log back in again. Nate, can you see the drawing?
Amelia can see the drawing. Nate wrote that he couldn't see the drawing.
Okay, and it's real. Okay, Gabriella can.
It should be visible because it's locked.
Yeah.
That screen. So I think it's a problem with Nate. So you definitely recommend you log back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna add some bangs to the hair of our horse, and I'm gonna make it kind of wispy like the tail was, just like that. Now I'm going to add the mane, which is the top part of the horse's hair, or unicorn in this case. And I'm going to continue this line. I'm going to, with my pen, I see where the line left off, and I'm going to pick it up on this side of the horse's ear. Like it's gone behind the unicorn, I should say. And then I'm going to make kind of wispy, whoops, on this side. Curve around. I am gonna make a unicorn. I'm gonna give it like an eyelash. So I'm just making kind of a subtle U, like it's got its eyes shut. And then I'm gonna make little lines being the eyelashes. Go. Maybe our unicorn's a little shy. Or maybe because it's windy, it's closing its eye a little bit. Now I'm gonna put a little nostril here. Now, what am I forgetting on this unicorn? Somebody wrote a cloud of corn. You guys are so funny. What am I forgetting to make this a unicorn? The horn. That's right. I didn't leave myself a lot of space for the horn. I think it's going to be at an angle a little bit. So I'm going to come out from behind the bangs of the unicorn. Here. There we go. Good. I'm going to put some lines down the horn like that. Now, if you were working in pencil and you wanted to, later on you can erase some of these lines, or you can keep them there because it may help you to remember if you wanted to make another unicorn, to remember where to make the shapes. So now I would like to draw a narwhal that's underneath. So I think I'm gonna, how am I gonna change this? So I think I'm gonna change my mind and make this, no, I'm gonna do another line coming here. So it's like our unicorn has a bit of land that he's standing on, and I'm gonna make our narwhal underneath here, swimming underneath him. So to make the narwhal, I'm gonna make a big squished long letter C, almost like that. Yeah, like a letter C that's been flattened, or a sideways letter U. Oh, somebody's right. Izzy's writing, mine looks pretty good. That's nice to hear. Glad to hear that it's looking good. Now I'm going to make two lines that come out, almost like a letter Y would be coming out. That's going to be our narwhal's tail. Now I'm going to connect the lines that look even more like a tail. I need to remember to make the horn as well. So I'm going to make the horn coming out this way. Put the lines on the narwhal's horn here as well. Here, I'm going to put a smile. Make him a happy little unicorn, or narwhal, I mean. Oh, and I forgot about make flippers. And sometimes narwhals have these beautiful kind of light white markings, like little spots. So I'm going to add those as well. Looks good. My unicorn looks like a rhino. You know, some people think that it was stories of rhinos, of people seeing rhinos that may have originally been unicorns. Other people think it was sightings of goats. Yeah, I hope that everybody shares their beautiful drawings after. I'd like to see them. So I think I'm going to start coloring this. And if you have some materials for coloring at home, it'd be lovely if you guys joined in and colored as well. You can be as creative as you'd like to be with the colors that you choose. I think oh, Nate wrote, how do you do that? Are you stuck on a part, Nate, that I can help with? I bet your drawing looks great. No, you're not stuck? Okay. Have you drawn your unicorn, Nate? No? Oh, okay. Do you have some paper and oh, yes, you have? Okay. How do you show it? So maybe Mally can talk about how we can share our drawings.
We'll definitely tell you about how to share it with us, because some students did last week and we were able to send Colleen a couple pictures. And
that's always my favorite part, if I can see some of the images of the drawings you guys make. That would be awesome.
How can we share it? We're going to show you at the very end how you can share it, okay?
So I just peeled some of my paper off my crayon. If you have a crayon, or you can do this with a pencil, just rubbing it sideways, or a pencil crayon. And because I'm using my art making table in my studio, there's all sorts of, as you guys can see, there's glue and there's paint. There's all sorts of gobs of things that when I rub my pencil crayon, or my crayon, I should say, sideways, I get the texture, the impression of the texture onto my page. Texture is an element of art where it gives you an idea of feeling, of how something would feel. When you do this technique, this rubbing crayon or pencil crayon against a texture on paper, it's called frontage. So we are I am, or if you are doing this as well at home, you can create frontage this way. Here we go. So I did the water part. Now, oh, you're drawing on cork. Is it creating a cool texture? Somebody's drawing on cork. That would be really neat. That you'd get all sorts of bumps in the paper. Yes. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So there we go. So next time you see some bumps in the paper, you can say, oh, I'm using a technique called frontage. Now I'm going to draw some nice green grass, just because we have so much snow on the ground in Winnipeg right now. Hopefully it'll melt today because it is getting quite warm. But I'm kind of longing to see some nice green things. I'm gonna just color in quickly some grass with some crayon. You know what, something I like to do sometimes, so I used a wax crayon. I like using a marker then, or or a pencil crayon. Maybe I'll use a pencil crayon and go over top of the wax crayon. And the little areas, you can see there's some little areas where there's still the white paper. The pencil crayon or the marker will fill into those little white areas. So I get a nice combination of color. So sometimes it's just nice to experiment with the different art supplies that you have at home. Now I wonder what color I should make my unicorn. I'm kind of leaning towards pink. I don't know. What do you guys think? Shall I go with pink? Pastel pink. Ooh, like a really nice soft pink. I like that idea. Purple. Pink and purple go nicely together. That kind of reminds me of My Little Ponies. I think I had a My Little Pony when I was a kid that had a pink body that looked like a unicorn, that had a pink body and purple hair. So maybe I should make this kind of look like that. Oh, the tail can be purple, the body. Oh, and yellow. I like the idea of including yellow as well. Maybe I'll make, you know what? I think I'm going to make the horn kind of yellow. Ooh, somebody wrote wigs, but do you mean wings? Would you guys like to see how to turn this into an alicorn? Shall I make some wings? Yes. All right. Yes, please. Okay. To make wings, you can make a line that goes straight out like this. And then it's better to start from the top or the bottom. I'm just thinking through it. I think I'm going to start from the top. So I'm going to make a line that curves like that, kind of like a little hook. It's like a little hook. Ooh, somebody's also mixing shades. That's nice to hear. Then I'm going to make another one here. These are kind of like feathers coming out of the wings. Another one. Another. And it's gonna just kind of go like a series of U's to there. So that's one wing. It looks a little confusing with the lines here, but I think I'm gonna make the wing maybe a dark color so that'll hide those lines there. And then I'm gonna imagine that there's a wing on the other side as well. I'm gonna make another line that goes up, just curves down, so you get a little hint of the wing in the background. On the other side of, excuse me, on the other side of the unicorn. I'm going to use my purple marker to color it in a little darker to kind of hide those lines. But you guys can use any color you'd like to, or you could even just shade it in with a pencil.
And Addie, Colleen, if you're stuck and you're a little behind, that's okay, because Colleen will leave the picture up there so that you can see. And the other thing that you can do, Addie, is watch the video when it's online, probably tomorrow or the next day.
Sorry, I missed that in chat, that Addie's, am I going too quickly for you, Addie? Sometimes I do fairly quickly. No, you're okay. Oh, good. Cool, somebody wrote.
You know what I love, Colleen, is the positive feedback that the students are giving you.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I always love hearing the feedback.
And I have a couple questions for you.
Uh-oh.
As an art, it's okay. They're easy, not
I'm
easy.
just teasing. I love questions.
Artist, I noticed that you started with shapes. Um, do artists often work and look at nature, like in terms of shapes and planning out their paintings using shapes and what they can see in nature?
Sometimes they do. Many times they do. Sometimes if I'm kind of stuck at where to start with a drawing, I'll think, okay, what shape does this big part look like? And I'll start with maybe the bigger part of the drawing or one of the most important parts of the drawing and think of what shape it looks like. Yeah, many artists do draw that way. I find it makes it a little easier to try and communicate with somebody else how to draw um, what I'm drawing because we all know our shapes. So sometimes it's easy to say, okay, let's make a circle first. Yeah, that was a great question, Mally. And so many of the things that are organic, we can make drawings of using circles and different shapes together.
And the other question I had, because some of the kids are saying, I love art. My mom is an artist. My grandma's does art.
Oh, nice.
How do you become an artist? Like when you were young, when you were their age, how did you decide to become an artist?
That's such an awesome question, Mally. I love that question. So when I was a little girl, I was really fortunate that I loved drawing and I loved art, and my parents and my grandparents really recognized that in me, and they'd give me art supplies and encourage me to draw or paint or create different art projects whenever I had a chance. And then I had a really lovely art teacher in high school that really encouraged me to go into continuing studying art in university. And that teacher really helped me get my portfolio together to apply to go to art school for university. Um, yeah, so I just was very fortunate that a lot of nice people encouraged me to continue doing art. From a very young age. Um, yeah, so that's how I came to be an artist. Then
I just pulled up your page, Colleen, too, your artist page. So in case
that's so nice. That's a
your
pretty
spelters,
dated.
that's okay.
It's a dated page, but yeah, if you wanted to share that with the group, that's lovely. Yeah, so I love making art out of the things that are on my website that Katie's looking at. I love making out of cardboard boxes and just things that you find around the house that maybe you were going to throw out or discard. I love looking at them and thinking, how can I use this in my art? Um, yeah. So I always tried to just make art out of whatever I had on hand. I didn't, lots of people think, oh, I don't have any paint, or I don't have these expensive markers, or I don't have the right paper. Sometimes I didn't even have paper on hand, so I would just see, what do I have in the recycling bin that I can draw on? It could be an envelope I was going to throw out, or a box of crackers that was going to go in the recycling that I can flatten out and then do a drawing on the inside of the box. Ooh, Nate is asking a question. How do you, I'm intrigued, waiting in eager anticipation for the next part. The question. Oh, how do you make a website? Oh, well, that's a more complicated question. That's a question you would need an adult to help you to make a website. There's lots of good information on the internet. I'm very fortunate that my husband's pretty tech savvy, so he helped set me up with my my website. but we pay to have a site and keep it up every year. But there's
Colleen, can we ask, can we add your website to our resource page under the
lovely, Mally.
So
yeah, and sorry, I'm just thinking you sent me an email asking me that last week and I haven't replied. Sorry about that. Yes, my website is ColleenLeduc.com. I think.
Emily says this was
Katie can confirm that.
This was a great hour of her day, and I totally agree. It was a great hour.
To hear.
Always good to end with art.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. I'm just thinking this would be beautiful with like a rainbow in the background, or maybe it's nighttime and there's stars in the sky. So I look forward to hearing and seeing what you guys decide to do in the background of your drawings. Be cool to totally fill the page. A midnight corn. I love all these unicorn puns. I can't get enough of the corn puns.
So Colleen, I'm just going to quickly show the kids if they're not sure how to send their artwork. So
that'd be great.
I'm just going to share my screen with you guys. So I'm just going to pull up the picture I emailed to myself. I emailed the picture that I drew to myself. That's how I'm going to share it.
Oh, I love it. Katie, that's so great.
I was sketching and doodling away. I find it kind of relaxing just to sit and doodle. So, okay, so I saved that picture and then I'm going to go to the Connected North website and I'm going to Connected North at Home and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And then I'll put my name. Just your first name's fine. And my email address. And then I'm going to go and pick that picture that I downloaded, which is probably on my desktop. I think there it is, unicorn. And I'm going to make a little message and I'm going to send it to Mally. And then Mally or I will send it off to Colleen and we'll also respond to you about your artwork, which is awesome. And I'm sure Colleen will as well.
Yes. Oh, that's so nice. Love your art, Katie.
Oh, did you say that? It's a unique one.
Somebody's really good at making puns.
Oh, are there some more puns that I've missed? Oh,
I think you.
There was one about the cork too. I missed the comment. I'll have to scroll up.
Okay, Nate, if you're using a computer, what you'll need to do is take a picture of your artwork and send it to yourself somehow. Or maybe ask your parents for help. Or Katie, you can jump in.
Yeah, all I did was I took a picture with my phone, your parents' iPhone or your Android phone, and I emailed it to myself. And then I was able to get that picture from my email and put it up into Connected North at Home. But definitely, you know what I'll do is I will throw a tutorial up there on our resources page. And I did one today for joining a WebEx with your phone. So I'll do the same thing with uploading.
I thought I'd just go ahead and add some stars. And I saw in Katie's drawing, she added some fish in the water. That'd be really cool to add too. Oh, Amelia, thank you for the lovely comment. And I really liked hearing that nice comment about the cork table, how the cork's making some really cool textures, different shades around the dot. That's cool. So if you're enjoying that, if you're enjoying making frontage, you may start looking around the house at different things that have interesting textures that you would like to get a get some from frontage or make a crayon rubbing from. Something that comes to mind sometimes I do with students in the classroom is I have them look at the bottom of their running shoes and to make a rubbing of the texture on the bottom of their running shoes, because there's usually some really cool patterns and textures on the bottom of different shoes.
What a great idea. And other places that have textures are the floors of your house.
Yeah. Yep.
Or
grates of the heating vents too.
Heating vents.
You just have to make sure you don't get crayon on the wall. I've made that mistake.
And if it's nice outside, you can go outside and maybe do some leaf rubbings on concrete.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Safe, or on some wood. That's really neat too, to get the wooden textures. Or a box of leaves. That's right, Addie. Yeah, they'd be all crumbly and crunched up now from winter time, and there's a lot, and on your bricks or on the siding of your house, but just be really careful not to get crayon on it. But there's lots of great textures to see.
And once you start looking for them, they just jump out at you everywhere.
Cat prints in cement. Yeah, look at all, Erin, that's right. All of these awesome ideas. Fabric is another thing. Absolutely. There's great textures in fabric. There's if you look really hard, there's chunky glitter. Oh, what now you're talking, Gabriella. I just came across a whole container of chunky glitter today, and I thought, what am I going to do with this?
Ooh, you need to put it on some unicorn art, I think, Mally.
I think I need to, yep. For sure.
Nice.
We've got lots of really creative people here and lots of great brainstorming.
Dang, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, so guys, tomorrow is another fun day at Connected North at home. We have manatees in the morning with Moat Marine at 10 o'clock Central.
These manatees are my favorite animal. It's so nice. Sorry I interrupted you, Mally.
You should come. Tomorrow it'll be great. And we have the microscope, hidden worlds under the microscope, and bats. Bats are my least favorite animal, but I know that bats
are pretty cool, though. They're pretty cool.
Lannis is going to hold them, and Lee, our friend at the Cleveland Museum, is going to talk about body parts and what it's called. You are what you eat. So she's going to show you a real live heart, but it's not a real live heart. And some other body parts that are preserved, and then we've got an astrophysicist talking about light. So if you're putting a rainbow in your picture of the unicorn, you can learn how rainbows happen. And then at the end of the day, not even the end of the day, we have another concert with Evan Redsky, and he's a really famous voice singer. And then we have family Zoom. So it's a busy day tomorrow.
Does anyone know what a manatee is called when it's not called a manatee? I wonder if anybody knows that. It's kind of cool.
I know.
I wonder if anyone knows what the nickname for a manatee is.
Who said that?
I heard
Evan said sea cow. There's another.
Way to go.
There's another one. I think they also call it a marshmallow.
Oh, I haven't heard that one. I was thinking sea cow as well. Unicorn of the Sea is much more glamorous. I think the narwhal has a fancier nickname.
I agree.
Marshmallow's pretty cool.
Okay, I think we probably should sign off because we got to head to another meeting. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I can't wait to see your pictures.
So much.
Me too. It sounds like a lot of people are planning, and friends like Logan. And if your parents are working on their computer now and they're using their computer, just maybe wait until after and say, Mom and Dad, can you help me send this to Colleen? And I'm sure they'd be happy to help. because we're all kind of in this together and we know we have to be patient. So thank you for coming. We've got friends from Nunavut, and we've got friends from Yukon and Northwest Territories, and Declan and Mila said it was fun. I agree. And this was great. Thanks, Colleen. It was a great way to end a Connected North at Home Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Katie. Thanks, Mally. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
We'll see your husband later this week.
Yes, he's so looking forward to it.
We're always looking forward to meeting him. Okay, see you guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.